Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. My name is Mary Paula, and in the spirit of adding a fresh handmade touch to my space, I'll be showing you how to make this stylish hanging plant in today's tutorial. So let's begin. I'll be using 3 different hook sizes, 5, 4, and 2. You don't have to use all of that. And I'm also going to be using a darning needle, a pair of scissors, a measuring tape, and this medium weight yarn. Okay, I'll be using 3 different colors, and the green is going to be in 2 different shades. And then I'm going to be using this. Okay, I'll pick my white yarn from this, and I'm also going to use this yarn that has tangled to put inside the pot to give the pot its shape. Okay, all right, so I'm going to be starting with the size 4.0mm hook. Please ignore my nails. I'll be using 2 strands of this yarn. In one of my videos, someone asked me why I use 2 strands. That's because the yarn that is available to me, it's not that thick. So when I use 2 strands this way, it's going to make the strand thicker. This way I can reach my desired size faster, and it also makes the project firmer. Okay, so just imagine this. I worked that for 3 rows. Let me just measure for you, and it measures 3 inches. If I were to use just 1 strand, it would probably be 2 inches or 2.5, and it's not going to be as thick and firm as this. Okay, so that's why I use 2 strands. Let's begin. To begin, I'm going to make a magic ring, and I'm going to wrap the yarn around my 2 fingers and cross it back this way. Then I'm going to put my hook under the first yarn and drag the second yarn from behind, then twist just like that. And now I am going to chain 2. So 1 and 2. 2 chains, and these 2 chains doesn't stand for a stitch. So into this ring now, I am going to make 10 double crochet stitches. Okay, so I have my 10 double crochet stitches now, and I'm going to close this ring. So drag that tail to close the ring. All right, and now I'm going to attach the sides together with a slip stitch. So go into the top of that chain 2, into the top of the chain 2 we did at the beginning, and insert your hook, grab a loop from behind and pull it through that loop, and also pull it through the loop on the hook. So we've attached this together, and for the next row now, I'm going to be making increases. So chain 2, and into this space, this stitch where your chain 2 is coming from, make 2 double crochet stitches, and into the next one, make 2 double crochet stitches. Into the next one again, 2 double crochet stitches, and this is how I'm going to continue making 2 double crochet stitches into every stitch. So every stitch in this row gets 2 double crochet stitches. So this is what's going to make the round, this part wider. Okay, so just continue this until you get to the end. All right, so I am at the end, and I have 20 double crochet stitches. Now I'm going to attach the sides with a slip stitch. So go to the top of the chain 2, insert your hook, grab a loop from behind and pull it through the loop, just like that. Then chain 2. So for the next row, I am going to be alternating between 1 double crochet stitch and 2 double crochet stitches. So into that very first stitch where the chain 2 is coming from, I'm going to make 1 double crochet stitch, and into the next one, I'm going to make 2 double crochet stitches. So into the second one, 2 double crochet stitches, and into the next one, which is the third one, I'm going to make 1 double crochet stitch, just 1, and into the next one I'm going to make 2 double crochet stitches. So I'm alternating between 1 double crochet stitch and 2 double crochet stitches into these stitches. So for this row, not all the stitches get 2 double crochet stitch. And you're going to continue like this until you reach the end of the round. So I am at the end of the round now, and I'm just going to attach it with a slip stitch. And I made 2 of this. And this other one is going to be the cover, while the one we're working on right now is going to be the pot. So 2 exact thing. And for this one, it measures 3 inches. The boat actually measures 3 inches. Okay, so if you want your pot to be bigger, you just have to make more rows. Okay, so for this next row, I am going to be working into the back loop only. So chain 2, and into the back loop only, I'm going to be making double crochet stitches. I'm not making any increase. I'm just going to go into every stitch. So into this back loop now, I'm going to insert my hook, grab a loop from behind, and make my double crochet stitch. And then I'll go into the next back loop. So like in the middle of the stitches, I'm not going into the entire loop, just into the middle, and I'm just going to pick the back loop, insert my hook, grab a loop from behind, and do my double crochet stitch. So just watch. And this is all what I am going to do for this round. So walk into the back loop only for this round until you get to the other end. Okay, so until you get back to that point where we started. So continue walking into the back loop only until you get to where we started, and then I'll come back to tell you what to do next. So I am at the end now. So this is what it looks like. See, it has already taken shape as a pot. So I'm just going to attach this with a slip stitch here. So into the top of the 2 chains that we did to begin the row, I'm just going to attach it with a slip stitch. Then I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2. So for this next row, I am going to be working front and back post double crochet stitch. So for the front post double crochet stitch, yarn over and insert your hook from the front of this stitch. So insert your hook from the front, just look at it very well, from the front of this stitch, around it, and bring it out through the back. Then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that's the front post double crochet stitch. And for the back post, you're going to yarn over and insert your hook from the back. So for the next stitch, from the back of that stitch, and pass it to the front this way, and then drag your loop from behind. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, just like your normal double crochet stitch. So for the front post, you're going to go through the front of that stitch, and then for the back post, you're going to go through the back. So through the back like this, and bring it out to the front of that stitch. Then drag your loop from behind and do your regular double crochet stitch. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing for this row. We're going to be alternating between the front post and the back post double crochet stitch. And I'm just going to let you watch this video so you can just have a graphical explanation. Okay. So this is what it looks like, and you're just going to continue like this until you reach the end of the round where you started from. So continue until you reach the other end, and I'll come back to tell you what to do next. So I have completed this round now, and this is what it looks like. So you see our pot is already taking shape, and here I'm just going to attach the round with a slip stitch. Then I'm going to chain 2. So for this one, I'm going to be working front post double crochet stitch into the previous front post double crochet stitch, and back post double crochet stitch into the previous back double crochet stitch. So chain 2, and here we have the front post double crochet stitch for the first stitch. I'm just going to make a front post double crochet stitch there. So insert your hook from the front around the stitch to the back, then do your double crochet stitch. And for the back post, we're going to insert the hook from the back, that is behind, to the front of that stitch. Then grab a loop from behind and do your double crochet stitch. So we have the front post again, and we're going to make another front post into that one. And the next stitch is a back post double crochet stitch, and we're going to make a double crochet stitch into that back post double crochet stitch. The next one is a front post, and the next one is a back post. So here's what we are doing. Into the previous row's front post double crochet stitch, we're going to make a front post double crochet stitch in the current row, and into the previous row's back post double crochet stitch, we're going to make back post double crochet stitch in the previous row. And you're going to continue like this until you have the size you want your pot to be. So I did mine for 7 rows. Oh, that's one of the leaves. So I did mine for 7 rows, and this is what it looks like. So you're just going to continue working your rows until you have the size that you want your pot to be. Okay? And when you get to this end, you're just going to attach with a slip stitch. And for the next row, I'm just going to work single crochet stitches all around. So chain 1, and into that very stitch, make a single crochet stitch. And into the next one, a single crochet stitch. And I'm just going to make single crochet stitches all around until I come back to this point where I'm going to attach it. Okay, so continue doing that, and I'll come back to tell you what to do next. So when you come to the end, you're just going to attach with a slip stitch. And at this point now, I'm going to make a long chain. So this is a chain that we're going to use to hang our hanging plants. Okay, so just make a long chain as long as you want it, and then I'm just going to count the stitches. So I'll count the total number of stitches and divide it into 2, just so I have equal side. So I'm just going to attach the chain there. I'm attaching it with a slip stitch. Then I'm going to chain 1 and cut. Now I'm just going to sew in the yarn tail, just for a clean finish. Alright, so when you're done with this, I'm going to start making the petals. And I think this is like the easiest part of this tutorial. So for that, I'm going to be using a size 5.0mm hook. Then I'll grab my pink yarn and wrap it around my 2 fingers, make a cross behind, insert my hook under the first one and grab the second strand, then twist. And then I'm going to chain 2. Okay? Then into this ring, I am going to make 2 double crochet stitches. So this is the first double crochet stitch, another double crochet stitch, and now I'm going to make a slip stitch. Okay, then I'll chain 2 and make 2 double crochet stitches again. The first one, the second one, and then I'm going to make a slip stitch. Then chain 2 and make 2 double crochet stitches again. The first one and the second one, and then I'm going to make a slip stitch, chain 2, and repeat the same thing until I have 5 petals. So that's the 4th one, and I'm going to make the 5th one now. 2 double crochet stitches, slip stitch, then chain 1. So I'm done with that now. And then I'm going to drag this long tail so I can sew it in later. Then I'm going to cut. And this tail that was left from the ring from before, I'm just going to drag it to close the magic ring. And that's it, guys. The petal is ready. Okay. So I'm just going to make more of this in whites and pink colors. So for the leaves, I'm going to be using this size 4.0mm hook and green yarn. So first thing I'm going to do is to wrap the yarn around my finger and make a slip knot, just like that. Then I'm going to make 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll skip the first 4 chains, and into the last one, the 5th chain, I'm going to make a double crochet stitch. Okay. Then chain 2, and then go back into that same chain and make another double crochet stitch. Chain 2, and now I'm going to make a treble crochet stitch. So yarn over twice, 1 and 2, then go back into that same chain, grab a loop from behind, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay. Then I'm going to chain 2, and now I'm going to make a single crochet stitch into the first chain. Okay, then I'm going to yarn over twice and make another treble crochet stitch. So go back into that same chain, the same one we've been working in, grab a loop from behind, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, then chain 2, and now I'm going to work a double crochet stitch there into that same chain, double crochet stitch, then chain 2, go back there and work another double crochet stitch. And now you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slip stitch into that same chain. Okay, go back into that chain and make a slip stitch. Okay, and from now we're going to be working into the back loop only of this. So go into the back loop and make a slip stitch. Okay, so going to the next stitch, the back loop only, and make a slip stitch. To the next stitch, go into the back loop only, make a slip stitch. To the next stitch, back loop only, and make a slip stitch. So we're just going to continue working into the back loop only. We're going to be working slip stitches into the back loop only all around until we come back to that point where we started. So I'll just let you watch. And when you come to this point where we did the single crochet stitch, we're going to make a pie cut stitch. So go into the back loop, make a slip stitch, then chain 1 and go back into that stitch and make a slip stitch. Then continue making your slip stitches until you get to the other end. Okay, then when you come to this point, you're just going to insert your hook there and make a slip stitch. Then you're going to chain 15. So this is what the leaf looks like. So chain 15 now. When you have your 15 chains, you're going to skip the first 4 chains and into the 5th one, make a double crochet stitch. So we're just going to repeat the same thing we did for the other leaf. So you've made your double crochet stitch, chain 2, go back there and make another double crochet stitch, chain 2, and now we're going to make a treble crochet stitch. So yarn over twice, go back into that same space and make a treble crochet stitch, then chain 2, go into the first chain and make a single crochet stitch. Then you're going to yarn over twice and make a treble crochet stitch next, then chain 2 and make a double crochet stitch, chain 2, make a double crochet stitch, chain 4, and then make a slip stitch into that chain. And from here now we're going to be working slip stitches into the back loop only of these stitches. So into that stitch back loop, make a slip stitch, and into the next one make another slip stitch, into the next one make another slip stitch, and so you're just going to continue making slip stitches into the back loop only of the stitches until you get to this point where we have the single crochet stitch. And at that point we're going to make a picot. So insert your hook there, make a slip stitch, chain 1, go back into that same stitch and make a slip stitch. Okay, then into the next stitch you're just going to continue making your slip stitches into the back loop only until you get to the other end. And when you get to this point, you're just going to make a last slip stitch into that chain and make 15 chains again. And after making the 15 chains, you're going to skip 4 chains, and into the 5th one make a double crochet stitch, chain 2, and you're just going to repeat the same thing that you did for these other leaves. Alright, so you're just going to repeat the same thing for the other leaf, and you're going to do it 4 more times until you have 6 leaves. So it looks like one branch has 6 leaves. And I made a total of 6 for this. Then these 2 I made with a size 2.0 millimeter hook, so it looks like I have small leaves and big leaves. So for the petals, I am just going to assemble them this way and attach them to the leaves. Okay, so to attach them, I just grabbed one end of the tail, and I'm just going to insert my hook into the chain, then grab one end of the tail just like this, and then I'm going to tie. Just make sure to position it in a way that it will be facing the front. Then I'm just going to tie it this way. And then this is me just attaching the yarn tail inside. Just want to hide the yarn tail, so when I cut it, it's not going to easily come off. Okay, and then I'm going to cut now. And this is just how I am going to attach the petals to these leaves. So just attach them randomly in any space you think it's cool enough for you. Just attach them randomly. Okay? And now I have my leaves. I'm just going to grab all of the leaves just like this, and then I'm going to pull it through this circle, this middle part of the cover of our pot. Just going to pull it through like this. Then I'm going to tie it this way. So tying it this way is going to ensure that it does not come off. So there's like a barrier. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and arrange the leaves on the pot, the cover of the pot this way, just so it looks nice. So just arrange it this way so it looks nice. And this is where our tangled yarn is going to come to play. So this is where it's going to work. So I'm just going to grab my tangled yarn, cut it, because who has the time to start untangling this thing? Not me. And I'm going to put it inside the pot to give the pot like to hold its shape. Okay, so I'm just going to put it inside the pot and arrange it. If you have something else that you can use, it's fine, but this is what I am using. So my tangled yarn should have a good use. Then I'm going to attach the pot with my darning needle. So just grab the darning needle and start attaching my pot and the cover together. And here I'm just going to let you watch how I'm attaching it, so you can do yours this way as well.
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted you've been gifted with the evil.
So continue attaching. And when I've gone round, I'm just going to go back to this point where I started. I'll go multiple times into that part and make sure just to attach to secure the ports. And that's it, guys. The hanging plant is ready. This is me just putting in the remaining tail inside. So I'm ready to style my room with this hanging plant. Did I say hanging ports? Okay, with this hanging plant. I really like it, guys. I think it's really cute. It's ready. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're able to follow along. And if you have any questions, just leave it for me in the comment section. Bye.